More news coming in. Now, Netas again are in a Chaddi fight in the state of Karnataka, ignoring this. Bengaluru-Mysuru road, ridden with potholes, bears semblance to the lunar surface. And it's a nightmare for riders and commuters. Several complaints have been received, but the BBMP is yet to repair the stretch of the road. Who really cares is the question that we are asking, with both the BJP and the opposition in the state involved in all kinds of politics, including the Chaddi war that has been going on. This comes at a time when there is a war between the Congress and the BJP. It seems Chaddi is the priority and not the roads. Basic responsibility hasn't been fulfilled. Total civic mess, but no one cares. You can look at those pictures and the manner in which these cars and these auto rickshaws and the two-wheelers are trying to navigate their way through this stretch of road in Bangalore. My colleague Karthik is right there, getting us more details on that story. Karthik, it appears to us this really is the surface on the moon. I mean, this is unreal, unthinkable. And you know, what makes it worse is that the BJP or the opposition particularly will not be raising this, and the BJP government wouldn't care about the problems, the real issues that people are facing.
Well, yes, definitely, Sneha. I'm currently at the Bengaluru-Mysuru road here in Bengaluru, and here you can see the stretch that is completely ridden with potholes. And you know, if you could just get a view of this place, this entire stretch of at least up to nearly 1 to 2 kilometers is ridden with potholes, and both car drivers, bus drivers, and also riders face a nightmarish situation to try and cross to this patch. And here you can see bike riders, cars, and also autos and other vehicles finding it very difficult to maneuver through these potholes. It's an everyday problem for them. Despite several complaints, the BBMP hasn't repaired this stretch. Here you can see cars finding it so difficult to try and cross this road. Now, roads are something basic, the basic part of the infrastructure here in the city. But Bengalurians have been facing such problems for a very long time, and the BBMP hasn't really taken any action in repairing these potholes. Now, remember, in the last 6 months, there have been several pothole deaths that have also been reported in Bengaluru. But despite such problems, despite deaths being reported, the BBMP is yet to repair these roads. Here you can see buses that are finding it very difficult to try and cross this road. Despite several, politics that's going on in Karnataka, especially the Chaddi politics and other issues, the main issue, that is roads, which is, which really affects the people, hasn't really been taken up by any of the parties. And despite, different political parties that have been stayed in power, be it the BJP or the Congress, they haven't really tried and solved this problem of potholes in Bengaluru. And this stretch that almost looks like the lunar surface, ridden with potholes, hasn't really been repaired. Even as we talk, there's a JCB still trying to somehow try and, it's trying to separate the potholes, trying to level them. But despite all this work, it will still take a lot of time for the BBMP to try and repair this road. And as far as what I'm hearing, riders and commuters complain that despite several complaints, they have not really gotten any response from the BBMP. The BBMP hasn't really found a good solution for this road. This road connects commuters and riders to the industrial area. Now, it remains to be seen if the BBMP will take any action at least now, or will the people, the commuters and the riders will continue to face this nightmarish situation despite, paying taxes, high taxes to the BBMP.
Karthik, any word from the BBMP on what do they really plan to do, given that they've been trying to fix the problem of potholes for a while, especially during the monsoon season when this gets aggravated, isn't it?
Well, the BBMP has time and again been saying that they've got grants for repairing the roads, but they've been every time now and then they've been asking the government for more funds to repair the roads. And here you can see an ambulance that is stuck in the traffic here. Now, to cover this patch, you will need at least 10 to 5 to 10 minutes to cross this road. And here you can see an ambulance that is being stuck in this road. It's finding it very difficult to pass through this road. The huge potholes, the crater-like potholes, pose a real danger and a real nightmare to the people. Here you can see the ambulance finding it so difficult to pass through this road. The situation is such that the ambulance has to travel very slowly to cross this road. The situation is such that especially for riders, bike riders, when it rains, this road becomes very dangerous for them because the potholes are completely filled with water.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
Riders find it very difficult
Kartik,
to
be
find
with us. I'll just come back to you for more on that. Nasir Hussain of the Congress Party is also joining us. Nasir Hussain will also get in the BJP, but I want to ask you, are you going to raise this issue? Does this concern you only, or only Chaddi is concerned the Congress Party?
See, these are all the issues which concern the common man, and because of the rains in Bengaluru especially and the rest of the Karnataka too, there have been lots of potholes, there have been lots of road repairs which have been wanting for a long time.
Okay.
And and there have been lots of accidents in this.
Nasir Hussain, why doesn't the Congress make noise about this road instead of making so much noise about Chaddis?
Chaddis is also very important. Chaddis break.
Does the Chaddi concern the common man, or does this pathetic state of the road concern the common man? It could turn fatal for somebody, sir.
Both concern the common man.
How does the Chaddi concern the common man? I told you repeatedly that we are trying to also go across to somebody from the BJP to answer these questions and what on earth is the BBMP doing. But why isn't the opposition doing its job of raising these issues?
The Congress is raising all these issues. Congress is speaking about everything that
Where has the Congress raised it?
It is happening in the state. If you don't want to do a story on the Chaddis, it is fine. It is fine, but we will raise the issues of the Chaddis because Chaddis are breaking the nation.
Mr. Hussain, where has the Congress raised this issue? The people are asking, why can't you raise these issues?
If your people don't cover the other issues and they cover only these, so I can't help it.
Okay, Mr. Hussain, tell us, where has the Congress raised it? Has the Congress raised the issue of this particular road or the problem of potholes in Bangalore, which isn't a new problem that has erupted out of nowhere? It's a problem that refuses to settle down, essentially. So what I'm asking is that when has the Congress raised it?
We have been speaking on every issue, whether it is the roads, whether it is the corruption, whether it is the delay in the works on the roads in Bangalore.
Okay, Mr. Hussain, I have a specific question. You've been protesting on Chaddis, and there's a lot of shusha about these Chaddi protests that have been going on. It's bizarre, and the political discourse is nosedive to that level that we are putting these things out on national television. But what I want to ask you is that when did you protest against this particular road or the problem of potholes in Bangalore city, the capital city of Karnataka, where people have died because of these potholes? When was the last protest that the Congress held?
See, about 4-5 days back, when the last time when the rains were there, last week also we have protested, we have spoken, we have tweeted, we have did press conferences on that, we have released press releases on that. We have done that. Last week there were lots of rains in Bengaluru. Last week there were lots of, 10 days I got lots of rain. The entire city was flooded. There was water everywhere sweeping in the low-lying areas in Bengaluru. We protested and we did press conferences on this.
Is this going to be on top of the priority of the opposition? Is the Congress a serious opposition party for you to now take on the BJP on these issues? Can we see more noise from the Congress on these issues, sir?
Congress is committed to the people of our country. Congress will take up every issue that concerns the people of our country.
How are you going to take this issue up?
We have already raised this issue through our press conferences. If need be, we'll do protests on it.
If need be, you'll be doing some protests on this, is what you're telling us. But the BJP has also gone on to say that this is not just our doing. The Congress is equally responsible because this isn't a new problem. So how do you react to that also?
Where is the BBMP? Why are they not organizing BBMP elections? Why is the administrator looking of the BBMP?
Okay, fair enough. Nasir Hussain, I'll tell you what, the reason why I'm asking you these questions is because for somebody sitting in Delhi, this looks like a horrible situation to be in. I mean, imagine using that road. My colleague Karthik just put out a visual for us in which an ambulance just couldn't move using that stretch of road from Bangalore to Mysore. And that's a huge problem. You agree that this should be on top of the agenda, not just for the opposition, but also for the BJP-controlled BBMP?
I am amazed with your channel story. You should be asking these questions to the people.
Of course we're trying. Listen. No, yes, of course. Yes, of course.
You are asking questions to the opposition for the folly of the government.
No.
For the government.
I'm not. No. Do not get me wrong. No. Mr. Hussain, trust me when I say this. Trust me when I say this. We are trying. No, Mr. Nasir Hussain. No. Don't shout me down. Mr. Nasir Hussain, we've been trying to get a BJP spokesperson on the phone line for many minutes right now. And the reason why I continue to ask you is because we are waiting for the BJP to join in and also share on what do they think about the complete apathy of the BBMP that is controlled by the BJP. So do not think for once that we will not be asking questions of the BJP, because that's not what we do on India Today. We will be asking questions from the BJP and the Congress as well. Certainly, continue to be with us and you'll see that these questions are asked.
Please ask the government why
yes, Nasir Hussain, continue to be with us and you will see that these questions are asked.
Please ask the government why there are no public representatives in BBMP. Please ask the government that these roads were constructed with BBMP.
Nasir Hussain, continue to be with us. I'm telling you, we will ask these questions of the BJP the minute they join us on the phone line.
Questions to the BJP.
Of course we will. Of course we will. Be rest assured. Be rest assured. I have repeatedly said that the BBMP, which is controlled by the BJP, is responsible for this mess. Now that they're not joining us on the phone line, we're still trying to go across to them. The reason why I'm asking the Congress is because for days together now, Congress has been in news because Mr. Siddaramaiah has been talking about Chaddis. And this just appears to be so careless and so insensitive is my question. Why aren't the real issues being raised, Mr. Nasir Hussain? And that's the reason why I was asking you these questions.
Telling you, if you really want to blame Congress, you can continue to do so. I have been continuously telling that we already did press conferences, we have tweeted on these issues, we have spoken on this issue. Maybe there was no protest, but there will be protests also. But you cannot compare one issue with other issues. All issues are important for Congress Party.
Okay, fair enough, Nasir Hussain. To tell our viewers that we've been trying to get a BJP spokesperson to comment on this, and we will question them when they do, in fact, join us, because these are questions that have to be asked of the BBMP controlled by the BJP in the state. What is Bengaluru and the condition in the state of Karnataka, and specifically in Bangalore city where Karthik, this is a perennial problem. The Congress can say what they have to in terms of us not asking questions, but I'm asking you, what does the BBMP controlled by the BJP have to say about this mess that the people of Bangalore find themselves in?
Well, Sneha, every time a question is posed to either the Congress or the BJP, we'll always be getting the same answer. Both the parties will always be passing the buck. But the reality remains the same. It is the commuters and it is the riders and the common man who's suffering here on the end of the day. Even after paying road taxes, they are, used to these road conditions, miserable road conditions, and they have to travel to the stretch every day and bear the brunt. Despite several, orders by the Karnataka High Court, the Karnataka High Court has taken up these issues several times, and despite that, here you can see even cars, huge cars, and SUV is finding it so very difficult to cross this patch of the road, despite several, orders and also Karnataka High Court judgments asking the BBMP to repair the road. Several deadlines have been issued, even when Mr. Siddaramaiah was the Chief Minister of Karnataka. There was deadlines that were issued. There were promises that were made every time before the BBMP elections. We see both the Congress and the BJP saying that we will find a solution to these pothole-ridden roads, but we see these promises have not not been kept so far, and there is no assurance that these promises will be kept even in the future as well. DK Shivakumar, the Karnataka Congress president, had said that they will be preparing a Bengaluru special manifesto because of the BBMP elections, because remember the BBMP elections are also still awaited, and the Karnataka government and also the Election Commission of India has also issued some instructions about the BBMP elections as well. That is also yet to be conducted, and the BBMP does not have a person who has to take care of all these things. So despite that, these problems continue to be unanswered. The BBMP commissioner has issued several statements saying that they will repair the roads, but these roads still continue to be unrepaired. They are still people continue to face these problems, and it remains to be seen. BBMP still does not have a governor right now, because 2 years after, a year after the deadline for which the BBMP elections had to be conducted hasn't been met because of certain reasons. This was also the High Court, and also the Madhya Pradesh High Court also had issued a verdict regarding conducting these elections as soon as possible after giving reservations to BCs and other backward communities. But it remains to be seen if this time before the BBMP elections, will both the parties come to an agreement, try and fix the problem that is faced by the people, or will they continue to pass the buck with each other?
Yes, be with us, Karthik. In fact, I'm just going to go across to Mr. Anil Naik, who's an activist. Thank you for your time. Your reaction to this mess that Bangalore is in right now, with the Congress and the BJP indulging in the worst kind of politics over Chaddis. Nobody seems to be caring about these real issues.
Madam, you see, I have been fighting on this issue since time immemorial, as Bangalore's roads are famous for these notorious potholes, owing to an irresponsible BBMP and the politicians. Even the High Court has simply warned the BBMP and the government, but they are also not acting decisively. I think the BBMP commissioner and the chief engineer of the BBMP, who is in charge of the roads and footpaths, ought to be arrested immediately. You can see, I can show you some of the worst potholes in Bangalore. This has become the culture. This only speaks of the degradation of the culture of Bangalore, because the culture of a locality or of a state is determined by the quality of the roads, the quality of the pedestrian footpaths and other infrastructure, which has totally crumbled, not in the Silicon City, but a sick city. Bangalore is no more a Silicon City, it is a sick city. And these potholes are claiming innumerable lives, and 5 lakhs compensation, suspension, that's all. That's all. I think
Mr. Naik, the thing here is, what really is upsetting is that, in the city of Bangalore, this is just one stretch that we're talking about, because these pictures just speak volumes of the callousness of the authorities. And they seem to be taking it very, very lightly. Also, there is a very short-term, solution to this problem. Filling these potholes when the monsoon season arrives, and not looking at a long-term strategy in spite of people losing their lives.
Madam, you see, as an activist, tell me, what can I do beyond my limits? It is the media which will have to take this war ahead. This is a war. Actually, you see, in Bangalore, there is total civic apathy on the part of the people and the part of the administrators and the politicians. They are indulging in Chaddi business and making allegations against each other. Neither the opposition nor the government have taken this issue seriously. The opposition leader has not visited one single road to check its quality. So what can we do? I appeal to the Prime Minister. My complaint has been registered. It has been sent to the Urban Development Ministry, and they are sitting pretty on it. I have registered a complaint with Mr. Narendra Modi, and they have promptly sent it to the state government, Urban Development Ministry, to take action and inform me. No action, no information. Now, once again, I am furthering it to the PMO's office to prevail upon them and send an officer to get this work done. You tell me, what can I do beyond this?
Mr.
The media is also concerned, but we have got a thick-skinned system which ought to be destroyed. And the High Court is simply warning the BBMP commissioner and the chief engineer that we will put you behind bars, and they are doing nothing. The High Courts are also going very, very smooth and soft on these, what I can say, rogues.
Absolutely. You know, Mr. Anil Naik, as we speak, I don't know if you're watching the television, but we're putting out these pictures of the Congress protesting, holding chaddis, you know, on their, you know, in their hands, essentially, trying to raise the issue of how they should be cornering the RSS. And on the right side of a screen are these pictures of these pothole-riddled roads, essentially. We just had a Congress spokesperson who's an MP from Rajya Sabha, Nasir Hussain. He goes on to say that we will see if we have to protest on this issue. The sense that I get really is that the opposition also does not want to pick these issues that actually matter to the people. All that the BJP and the Congress are trying to do in the state of Karnataka is you know, sensationalized on a couple of issues like the hijab, for example, or chaddis on the other hand. This is all that's going on in the state.
Madam, I will tell you, not only hijab, this halal, this boycotting these Muslim traders, this has become the polarization politics of both the opposition as well as the BJP. Okay, the bulldozer Jungle Raj party, as I call it. Right? Nothing is happening, no development. You come and see how dirty and how dusty the streets are. Do these roads and other infrastructure, which is ridden with corruption, do they project the aspirations of the 21st century? Not at all. No. Not at all.
Mr. Anil Naik, thank you so much for joining us and sharing your views with us. You're somebody who's been fighting this battle for the longest time when it comes to these pothole-riddled streets of Bangalore city. The stretch that you can see on the right side of your screen essentially is the stretch from Bangalore to Mysore, where cars, two-wheelers, auto rickshaws, ambulances are just trying so hard to navigate really way through. Karthik, in fact, is at the very location from where these pictures have come in. Karthik, for our viewers, just to give us an idea about how the roads really look like. You put out those pictures of the ambulance just now. That speaks volumes of the kind of problems people are facing.
Well, definitely, Sneha, if I could just show you around this place, this is the Bengaluru-Mysuru road, and here you can see buses, BMTC buses, which are struggling to pass through this patch. And it is not just buses, huge lorries, vehicles, and especially bikes. This is a nightmarish situation for riders because these are huge potholes. You can hardly find a stretch of road in this patch, and it is extremely difficult for cars and riders to pass through this place. We just a while ago saw two ambulances pass by this road, and they found it extremely difficult. They had to slow down their vehicles to pass through this stretch. It takes at least around 5 to 10 minutes for them to pass through this stretch, and it is a nightmarish situation for them. Now, especially when it rains, this road is also
Be
become
with us,
very
S. Prakash
dangerous.
of the BJP is now joining us. Mr. S. Prakash, what is going on in the city of Bangalore? We have seen these roads riddled with potholes. The BBMP has some serious answering to do.
I completely agree with you. The roads should be of very high quality. Due to heavy rains in the past several days, some of the roads have caved in, and it's not an excuse. Certainly, the officials have to wake up and ensure that good roads are built and friendly roads.
So what is your government doing? What is your government doing, sir?
Madam, this pothole is a problem on various counts. Too many things we dug up the roads, and we can the surface. I'm sure the government will certainly take it very seriously, and they are already fixing it.
Mr. S. Prakash, they're not fixing it because this is a perennial problem. We're talking about potholes killing people in Bangalore forever. This isn't a new problem. The government
Madam,
isn't.
this problem does not exist only in Bangalore. It exists in every
Of course
city.
it doesn't. I never said that. But you have to fix your problem. The BBMP is being controlled by the BJP.
I am conceding. I am not disputing your argument, your point of view. I am saying the government is seized of the matter, and they will see that the roads are fixed properly and the deadlines have been given. I hope the officials will meet it. Otherwise, they must be punished mercilessly.
But why does the government have to wait for us to put out these pictures and for these pictures to go completely viral to then think of taking some action? Why does the common man have to be in this situation, Mr. Prakash?
Madam, this is social media period. any small, even a lapse, a campaign will be started rightly, and it affects the administration. So I appreciate them. Government will certainly do what best can be done.
Mr. Prakash, you're saying the government will do what they can do, what the best is going to be done. But let me tell you that, for days together now,
I'm not disputing,
BJP and Congress have been bickering over chaddis in the state of Karnataka. The Congress is doing it and you're engaging them. Why not settle these issues that concern the common man? The hijab and chaddis does not concern the common man.
Both the issues are not BJP agenda. Certainly our agenda is good governance and providing best possible civic amenities to the people of Bangalore, and we will definitely focus on it.
And you are certainly saying that you failed on that front, isn't it?
No, if there is a pothole, perennial pothole, definitely it will lapse on the part of the administration. I have to accept it.
Yes, Mr. Prakash, and what about the people who have in fact lost their lives? We in fact just spoke to a couple of activists who have been raising these issues. They say that a meager 5 lakh rupee compensation is given to people who die because of these potholes. I mean, it's not an accident of, two cars colliding. It's a pothole that is killing people there.
One should lose their lives for the bad quality of the road. I completely agree. If such a development takes place, the concerned engineer should be put for criminal negligence. Only then our officials will wake up.
Is this criminal negligence on the part of the BBMP?
I'm saying whoever has neglected, they deserve to be punished.
So that is something that you're saying that as far as the BJP is concerned, you agree that it's a fault, it's a problem that you all haven't been able to settle or address?
We are in the process of settling it. I'm sure they will have fast-track the fixing of the road.
Mr. Prakash, why is that Karnataka is in news for all kinds of bizarre reasons, eye-grabbing issues like, chaddis and the hijab? Enough of noise is made by BJP leaders also in the state. There is so much polarization in the state. Don't these issues matter? Isn't this something that concerns the BJP? Are you not looking at fixing this instead of looking at polarizing issues like hijab and other things?
We did not raise hijab issue. We are not interested in it. We did not raise Chaddi issue. It was Siddaramaiah. The opposition party should focus on pro-people activities rather than they are raising some irrelevant issues, and it is diverting the attention. That is only Congress is responsible. We are focused on governance. We want to give good civic amenities to the people of Bangalore, and we will do that.
Mr. Prakash, on behalf of the government, you are from the... Okay, so as Prakash there has taken a couple of questions, but obviously not willing to answer. Or he says, I concede that it's a problem and that the BJP is at the helm of affairs and that much more should be done to address these issues. At least that's the admission from the BJP spokesperson there.